I'm going to call to order the April 14th meeting of the Westford School Committee. Anybody here for public comment? Nope. So we will move on to the only item of business, which is the Blanchard School roof replacement project. We are going to review and approve the design contract. Paul, do you want to give us the preamble?
Sure, happy to. Thank you so much, Paul Fox, Director of Facilities. Nice seeing everybody here today, and thank you for making this accommodation. I know it's a little last second notice, but planned last second notice. We just ran into a little bit of issues due to some complexities that just arise with this particular project. I would like to quickly highlight that Ameresco is going to be a huge asset to this project, and we're partnering with the Clean Energy and Sustainability Committee to make this all happen. And that took some coordination with the designer to make sure that all their fees were correct and appropriate. We then ran into just some little further issues in regards to the appropriation, but we've since figured them out. I would just like to acknowledge P3, who is our OPM. You guys signed their contract last time, but they've also stepped up. And so just thank them. So what you have before you today is a memo from myself authorizing Superintendent Chu to enter into an agreement with Civitex, who is our architect for the Blanchard Accelerated Repair Project, in the amount of not to exceed $85,000. This portion will come out of the capital fund that was appropriated, the $90,000 capital fund over the past annual town meeting there. So I'm happy to answer or address any questions, but this is the last step before we can really start to get going. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Paul. Anyone have any questions for Paul? Gloria?
So what does the timeline look now?
Yep. So great question. I'm probably going to work a little backwards with this. So construction will start in hopefully June of next year. We have an obligation between now after we enter into a contract. The MSBA sets a target date where schematic design must be completed between now and September for an October board hearing by the MSBA to review our project. Once MSBA, and at that point in time, we'll be pretty close to developing construction documents. And as long as MSBA approves it with their feedback, we can make the adjustments. And we're anticipating having an October town meeting article, or so a special town meeting article to support the construction portion of this project, which will be great because as long as special town meeting approves it and we've answered all of our questions, we'll be able to bid, midwinter to be ready for construction for the following summer.
Ming-Chen?
I have one question because I'm reading the bid document. So there are like two things. One is 30,000, the other is like 66,000. Which portion are we like trying to approve?
So I apologize. Those items were not supposed to be in the document. It is just this memo. The designer is going back and they're revising their numbers to meet the $85,000 appropriation here.
Gotcha. Because it's total is like 98,000.
Yep. So I'd definitely like to make that clear for the record that if there are any documents, the only document that was supposed to be in here was the memo that was previously presented just a minute ago. Again, just authorizing with that motion, Superintendent Chu to enter into the standard MSBA contract as identified not to exceed $85,000.
Thank you.
Thanks for that question. Thanks for answering that, Paul, because I had sent those out to the committee before,
Sure.
Before we had gotten, or before I'd realized the memo was in the DMS. So thanks.
We had to do a little negotiating. And again, with support of Ameresco and P3, we were all able to come to a resolution.
Very good. And will it be completed? I know we're jumping ahead, but you said hopefully a June construction. So that would be a summer, it would fit within the bounds of the summer, next summer?
That is certainly the plan. So
in theory, okay.
yeah, we've seen a lot of crazy things happen with just construction and current economy. So I don't want to, look, that's a factor in here, but it shouldn't be a problem. We are slated the way that the accelerated repair projects typically work are fall approvals. You do some bidding over the winter, you do the construction at a convenient time. And I think our convenient time that we're going to choose to seize is the summer.
Yeah. And if it helps at all, I think any of us here on the school committee would be glad to help with the construction in summer of 23. I think we'd be a big help up there on the Blanchard roof. So, I think that would be a asset to the work.
Or liability, because we have to pay for your insurance.
Yeah, it would be a liability, that is for sure.
Certainly, I can give us all hammers. But to that point, I think that the school committee has partnered with myself and regarding other projects in the past, and I'd love to have that same representation here. I know Matt, it will be tied in closely from the Clean Energy Sustainability Committee working with Amoresco, but the Clean Energy Sustainability Committee has also appointed somebody to oversee roof projects, and this one will, at this point in time, anticipated to have solar on it. So that whole process will be vetted out. So if the school committee does want to, at some point in time, want to appoint somebody to follow along with these meetings, it shouldn't be too many, but I'm happy to make sure that they are represented here as well. Obviously, I'm happy to come back with feedback for how the project's going at any point in time.
I think that'd be great. I mean, is there anybody who is interested in doing that, or am I just going to pick somebody? No, I'm happy. I would be happy to kind of follow along if nobody else is dying to. I'd be interested in doing that.
Fantastic. I'll include you on correspondence moving forward.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, any other questions or discussion? Gloria?
The other one is the clean energy and sustainability question. One question we always get from members of the public and often from students as well, especially whenever roofs come up, is there any possibility of putting solar on this roof? I know that's possible for some roof types and not others, but I know it's a question we often get from the public.
So as part of the anticipated, Amoresco and the designer met to discuss exactly what that handoff is going to look like and who's going to field what component of it. But right now, both the designer and Amoresco have been given every intention to make it a solar ready roof. And then at some point in time, depending upon how that mechanism of it is funded, whether it's a supplemental town meeting vote, I think that there's going to be a town meeting vote coming up that will allow us to do solar to any building, which will kind of open up the gateways for it. But I would default right now, and if anybody answers, say that Blanchard is expected to. It seems to be a prime location during the roofing project. If there are any structural concerns, we should be able to fit them into it. I think that all indications that I've received from everybody says that there's no reason why this building will not end with solar on it.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep.
That's great.
We're ready for a motion?
I think so.
Motion to award the designer contract for the Blanchard School roof replacement project to Civitex PC at the bid price of $85,000 and to authorize the superintendent of schools to execute the designer contract for the project.
Second.
Okay, that's a motion and a second. Any last discussion on this? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. Valerie?
Aye.
Ming Chen?
Aye.
Alicia?
Aye.
Gloria?
Aye.
Catherine?
Aye.
I'm an aye. That's 6 ayes. Sean was running late, not here, so that is unanimous, and that is approved. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you all so much. Really appreciate it.
We look forward to hearing more about the progress.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. I'll
Motion to
take another
adjourn.
motion.
Second.
Okay, motion. Oh,
I'm gonna
We're gonna
kick
let
Sean
Sean in.
out. No. Well, I just figured so he could.
I'm not calling on his vote.
Okay.
He's just coming in. All right, Valerie,
Aye.
Ming Chen,
Aye.
Alicia,
Aye.
Gloria,
Aye.
Catherine,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. We are adjourned, Sean, just in time.
I abstain.
Can I